Praise be Jesus and Mary. Yes, our Lord here is using the examples that we can all easily understand. We all are familiar with the animals he speaks of, the sheep's clothing, the sheep, the ravenous wolves, etc. All right, we know about grapes and thistles and bushes and trees and everything, and how they bear fruit. But we must apply that to our spiritual lives. Our Lord is warning us against those who would take us away from the one thing necessary, as he would later on tell Martha when she complained to our Lord that Mary was not serving. And the one thing necessary, of course, is our Lord himself. Throughout our lives, each and every day, we must have our attention focused on him. Even as we carry out the most feverish activity, it's all for him. We have to concentrate on him. You see, it's what we call, it reaches contemplation. That's a level we reach. It starts with recollection, reflection, and prayer, much prayer. But we arrive at contemplation, where we are simply, and of course, that is paradise. Once we get there fully, we simply gaze on God. But our Lord is warning us here against those who would take us away from it by letting ourselves, whether we do it ourselves or those around us, get caught up in material goods and things that will distract us from that one thing necessary. And he speaks of it in terms of, all right, and so he's warning us against them and all of those things that will take us away from that. Now, in order for us to concentrate our attention all on God and offer our work for God, it's going to require much sacrifice. It's going to require penance, because we're going to have to learn to control ourselves, to force ourselves, as it were, to do that concentration, to do that. But that's the sacrifice we offer, and we should be offering continually, every day. The penance that we perform, that will help us, discipline us to follow Christ, to open ourselves to him so he can fill us with his love. And that's what he's waiting to do. And then we will bear good fruit. And he shows us how to recognize whether we are or not. If we are not following him, if we are not doing what we are given to do, if we're not going to seek the spiritual life, if we're not going to seek our union with God, we will necessarily bear bad fruit. And if we're not going to, and if whatever it is, that good, whatever it is, and it could be any material thing or any other person or any other temptation, we can tell it's not the right good, it's not a good fruit. It's not bearing good fruit if it's going to lead us away from. If it's leading us toward, then it is good fruit, you see. So we can recognize it. And this is what our Lord is pointing out here. And he's giving us that warning. Don't let anything turn you away from the one thing necessary for eternal life. And that's the love of Christ himself. Praise be Jesus and Mary.